Yo, 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 yo. That's Dust thing, but uh shout out to all the party people in the place to be. What's going on, man? It's your boy Eric B, and we are back with my co-host for another great episode of Do You Even Transform, bro? Do you? Do you?
Do you? Do you?
I
Joining me
do.
tonight is the full squad. We got Mr. Scott Rod in the building. What's going on, Scott? We
Yo.
got Rusty.
Oh,
Ho ho
what's all
ho
that?
ho 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 ho.
Whoa.
Who did that? Did I do that?
And now I
Do
can't
me.
even hear
Do me.
Rusty.
Do me. Who?
That's weird.
Happy birthday.
Happy New Year, I guess. I guess that's Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Hey.
Rusty, say something. Yeah, we can't hear you. We can't hear you at all.
Because
You
I
muted?
took that phone call earlier and then I muted my microphone and then I forgot to unmute my microphone, and it's like being at work. What's going on, everybody? Happy New Year.
There you go. And then we got Mr. Derek B in the building. What's popping, man?
What's up, everybody?
So it's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you without a pod to step to. Step two. It's been a long time, man. I think our last show was the week before Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a long break.
Long time off, man. I almost forgot how to do this thing for a minute. It's been so long, but it's like riding a bike. You get back on and you just go.
Yeah.
Brian Brink got jokes already. He says somebody's using an iPhone as their camera. Because when you hit happy birthday in iPhone, all the balloons go.
Oh,
everywhere.
I'm not.
Oh,
an
is that what
iPhone.
it is?
I'm not
Yeah.
an iPhone owner. So,
Not
yeah.
an iPhone, but it's certainly an Apple product as the
Yeah.
camera.
What if I do this?
No, what's happening is
not-
Brink's probably in the background pressing buttons somewhere.
You think he's
said,
pressing buttons?
Oh man, but it's been a long time, guys. We are happy to be back. We hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, whatever it is that you celebrate, whatever is near and dear to your family's heart. We missed you guys. We're happy to be back. And tonight we are back with a great topic, which we'll get into. This one's going to kind of be spearheaded by Scott, the big brain himself, brought up by Rusty. And we're going to be talking about shipping and retailers overseas. Is it cheaper? Why is it so much cheaper to buy from those retailers, and how can they outproduce or outperform versus U.S. retailers or e-tailers? So we'll get into the nitty gritty. Tonight's going to be a nerdy show, so I'm telling you now, get your brain and your thinking cap on, because you're going to be here for a ride, and we hope you guys enjoy it. He said Scott's using an Apple product. Look, there it is. Try 2 thumbs up or yeah, look at that.
Oh.
So that's what happens when you're on your iPad,
You're on your
huh?
You're on your MacBook,
Yeah, it's on his
You're on a Mac?
MacBook then. Oh, look at
MacBook
that.
or iPad.
Hey,
Oh, just keep us guessing. Okay,
You know-
gotcha.
Mm.
just
So
enjoying
I
some
have
of
an iPad.
that, just enjoying some of that privilege.
Okay.
As he sips tea. I have an iPad and I haven't tried any of those features on there, but cool beans. Cool beans. I like it. That's fun.
Hmm.
Now I want an you gets no apology. Double D. With your big brain. There's another big brain here. But we're glad you can join us tonight, Brink. I know you've been busy as of late, so thanks for joining us tonight. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see you in there. Toy Mafia, also thank you for joining us. But without further ado, man, let's go ahead and get into people's nerd weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Let's start with you, Rusty. How's things been up there in the Great North?
The Great White North, because it's pretty white up here right now. We got
Yeah,
a
we got
bit
hit
of
too.
snow. Yeah, you got hit too.
And it's snowing,
No
so-
doubt. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, no, it's been good. You know what? I actually didn't. Sadly, I did not get anything for Christmas from anybody from my family or anything. There was other things I had on my list that I wanted, so I was quite happy with all the stuff that I got. And I actually ended up getting I posted on my Facebook page. Actually, ended up getting a racing suit, so I can actually go and compete in actual like door-to-door race track events now, and not burst into flames should I actually crash my car. So that's good. So that was my big present for my family because those suits can be expensive. So I'm looking forward to all of this snow disappearing and the warm weather coming and get the car on track and all that stuff. But week wise, yeah, like, and we were just talking about, like, I don't know what you guys, but I mean, this Christmas holiday, getting older sucks. I'm still not recovered. Like, I still feel absolutely bagged from all the holidays and, you know, friends and family and New Year's Eve, which is what are we, the 13th here, right? 14th, right? It's been a week and a half ago. And I know it was up till 4 a.m. with friends. You know, we were drinking and playing games and stuff and having a grand old time, and I'm still not recovered from that.
Feels like NJCC all over again, huh?
Right? Oh, man, that was good times, man. I can't wait for that to happen again. I can't wait for us to get together again on that. But anyway, week wise, I mean, I've been trying to keep it pretty low key just to, you know, get the energy back and stuff. So not much going on. Work's been kind of crazy again. You know, like I said before the break, there was a few consultants that I work with. They had to be let go because of budget cuts and stuff. So I had to pick up their workload. And had a 2-week break over the Christmas because in the Canadian government, they typically send all the consultants home for 2 weeks because everybody's on holidays and stuff, right? So there's not a lot of work happening. But I tell you, man, I came back and I don't know about you guys, right? But exactly, right? Like you take 2 weeks off and you come back and you look at the shitstorm that's happened while you were gone. And you got to clean it all up. Plus, everybody came back from vacation refreshed and they want to go and they want to get projects done and they want timelines and they want solutions and so I've been steady go for the past, like, since the first week of January when I went back into the office. It's been pretty crazy, but doesn't matter. I'm here now. I'm with my fellow co-hosts and looking forward to this topic. This will be fun and interesting. And Chat Squad, I hope you were going to dig into this with us too. Like, fire out those questions, comments, whatever you got, and we'll sort them out. Let's do this.
Yeah, man. Scotty, what about you, bro?
Scott. You know, it's been great. Like, I was off after the 20th and didn't go back to work until the 2nd.
Nice.
So that was awesome. We had our sons up down actually. For the Christmas holiday. They were here for a week, so we did all kinds of shit.
Even got some Tekken in, I heard.
I got some Tekken in. Playing some Tekken. That's right.
You still don't want that smoke.
And then started a new job on the 2nd. And
hey, congratulations, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Congrats, man.
Yeah. So that's been a little crazy. Just kind of, you know, the onboarding process. It's just always kind of a
mundane,
a relatively smaller family business than what I'm used to working for over the last couple decades. So it's been chaotic, but it's been good. And funny story. So I'm pretty particular about my hoodies. I have to have them a certain way, a certain make, a certain style, etc. And nothing funny or fancy or anything like that. It's just me, the way I'm. And I'd been looking for a thicker hoodie for a while, and
we all like them thick.
Yeah. Thickety thick. I like
what?
Thickety thick. Thickety thick. Anyway, and so I finally we went to this like arts district which had all these boutique shops over while the suns were down, and I saw this hoodie in there that was amazing, and I tried it on. It's like, oh, this is everything I want. Oh, price tag $300. God. Woo! So I put it back on the rack and walked away, and then 2 weeks later, I'm like, all right, like I have been looking for this hoodie for many months. I'm just gonna go and pull the trigger. So we go back down there, and we'd only been down there once, and we just visited the shops briefly. So I was like, I kind of knew approximately where it was, but so we walk up and down the street like 3 times, and we can't find the shop that was there. And we're like, are we going crazy? And it's like, nope. The shop that was there, that we that I saw this hoodie at actually closed their doors
No.
on January
Oh
5th.
man.
The one shop in this whole place.
Did you miss out on like a clearance sale too, maybe?
Probably,
Everything
you
was
know.
clearance
Wow.
for $300, yo.
Oh,
That hoodie better
hell.
hold me at tight and rub me to sleep. Like
Yeah,
$300. Sheesh.
I know. It was it was a boutique brand, whatever. So
You know what? You
All
only
good,
you only
bro. I'm
live
not judging.
once, man. Like if you want to get yourself a nice hoodie, right? I mean, you're only gonna do it once,
Listen,
right?
no-
Like,
no judgment from me. Look, we buy stupid stuff all the time.
no
Yeah.
shit.
yeah.
It's all
No
good,
shit.
bro.
But it was just my luck, right? The one shop
Mhm.
that closes
Mm.
on in the 2 weeks since I've been there is the shop that had the hoodie that I wanted.
Do you know what? Do
Mm.
you know what brand it was at all? Or
No, I actually messaged them on Facebook, hoping
Yeah.
that
And he
somebody
told
was
you
still
to get
monitoring the Facebook to say
Yeah.
to tell me what the brand was. I haven't
No
even
joy.
checked. I was so busy today that I haven't even checked to see if they even.
Man,
answered.
that girl clocked out on the 4th. And they closing them.
Right.
She clocked out on
Right?
the 4th. I was
Not
like,
wrong.
I'm never coming back.
Damn.
Not wrong.
Man,
Yeah, they
that
still haven't
sucks.
answered me yet. So
That's
Anyway.
crazy.
yeah, so that's it. It's me.
See, and that's why FOMO is a thing.
It is.
My
Yeah,
wife
the only-
always gives me crap because I do this. I did it at TFCon too. Like I would walk. My normal thing is I'll walk the entire floor, see
Mhm.
everything that I might want to buy, and then
Yeah.
make my decisions about what I want to buy. I don't want to like just go out and buy something and then spend all my cash and suddenly I walk another aisle over and find something I really
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but inevitably, it always comes back to I told you should have bought it when it.
Listen, she knows better than that. Come on, Andrew. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
Support your man, boo.
She supports me, trust me. She's the one urging me to spend the money
Yeah,
up front.
I know.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to be responsible in the relationship, right? Because otherwise, man, you can between two of you, you can put yourself in debt real quick
Yeah,
on
that's
stuff.
You
man.
are
It's
wrong.
Too easy.
You are wrong.
It's too easy.
Yeah. That's what's
Yeah.
up. That's what's up. Derek, how's things
Yo.
over there in Maryland?
Yes, sir. Everything is cool, man. The holiday was really good to this household. Christmas was cool. Had the kids come down and visit. And that was cool. Got I'm not into, I'm not real big into what they buy me and get me for Christmas and everything. It's all for me, it's all about them coming over here and just hanging out and having a good time. And we just, get to kick it and just I get to do my dad moments with them to, impart the wisdom and all of that type stuff, making sure that they're cool. Same for the new year. Sean and I went to Atlantic City to bring in the new year and
Nice.
got a little time in on that one. I have I've told this story to a couple of times, but we've had a very interesting time in Atlantic City, to say the least, because we stayed at the Caesar's Palace, which is the oldest hotel down there that you can ever stay at. My suggestion and my recommendation, don't stay at the Caesars, because you're gonna go down and and wonder where time went.
Yeah.
Because they haven't gotten past the 90s.
Yeah.
So it literally looks like that all over the place. And it's just like, I feel like I need a fake ID to get up in this joint, man. Golly, I need to let's go. Let's get out of here, man. Shoot.
Yeah.
So, we were like, okay, you know what? Let's go with what we know. Let's hit up Hard Rock Casino. Let's hit up Oceans. And get out there and get to those joints and really, really have a good time. And that's what we did. We brought in the new year at Hard Rock. It was around a lot of people that was celebrating alongside with us.
Sure.
And it was a good time. But yeah, man, in regards to the purchases and the wares, we'll get to that. But at the same time, man, like I said, it's just, it's a privilege to be able to be in 2025 right now. I just celebrated the 50. I'm feeling good. I'm still feeling great. As a matter of fact, I stopped bullshitting about it, about my fitness journey, and really started going down the road with that. and I'm actually feeling really good as a result of that, man. Because
Nice.
you know, doing the basic stuff. I'm on an app. It's called Muscle Booster, and they basically it's like chair exercising, but it's not all chair exercising. It's a lot of calisthenics. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a lot of calisthenics, and it's definitely what I needed. And you know, I gotta get
Look at
see.
Scotty.
But yeah, man, it's been a thrill, and you know, 'cause I do it in the mornings when I get up, and you know, and it's just literally every morning I get up now. That's the first thing I do, and then start out the rest of my day, and it just feels like you're just refreshed.
Yeah.
I haven't felt
That's
this
the
way
tone.
in a long time, you know. So, you know, I know a lot of you guys are doing the weightlifting and all of that type stuff, which is absolutely great. And my thing is, because of some things that I had going on with me over the years, I
Right.
got to slow roll right back into that. So, you know, I'm just
Rusty is
You
crazy.
got to get
Yeah.
some full extension there, Rusty. Come on now.
I've only got so much camera room, right? You know what I mean?
what a coincidence.
He got one too. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
But continue. You were talking about, you know, some stuff that happened in the past. It kind of limited
So
you.
yeah, and you know, with my shoulder thing, I don't really put that out there. I've told that to a select few, because you know, I'm not one to be, you know, talking too much about my past and everything. But at the same time, it doesn't stop me from getting the things that I need to do for my future. And my future says that I need to get my ass up and do some exercising of some sort.
Mhm.
So I started out with that, and hopefully it'll graduate into something else. But like I said, I'm feeling really good. I'm plenty rest. I feel like I'm plenty getting my rest like I should. Like after this, I'm going to bed. I'm not getting on the Xbox. I'm going to bed, and you know, and so I can get ready to get up and do that whole thing all
There you
over
go.
again.
There you go. Commit to it.
Yeah.
I
Commit.
don't like this. He's not doing late night Call of Duty
Yeah.
anymore. This is
Yeah, I
garbage.
can't.
Whatever.
I can't do it as I may
Get
do it
outta
on the
here.
weekends, but
Yeah.
definitely during the week, I gotta be more disciplined about doing that, because first of all, it's a work week. Essentially, it's a school night, and you know, I gotta get up in the morning. Not that I don't get up in the morning, but when I get up, it's like I gotta
dragging,
get up.
Yeah.
I'm dragging, and then you know, I go down to make my mushroom coffee and do all the, you know, normal routine. I guess it's really exciting because I have a new routine in the morning now, and it seems exciting now, but I want it to be exciting because it's not the same exercise routine every morning either. It's
And then
always
you get-
something different. They'll add something to it to be more challenging and everything, and I'm like, yo, man, y'all trying to kill me. So, but it's a good thing. If you, as long I've always said, as long as you can feel that burn, you got to be doing something right. So yeah,
Yeah.
And Rusty's
loving
over
life
here
right
trying-
now,
trying to-
and I'm loving the fact that I'm here with you guys now. I can't wait to get this topic on deck, and you know, hey man, let's get it in.
Rusty's
All
over
right.
here trying to tempt you away from the straight and narrow. It's like, get behind me, Satan.
That's right.
Get thee behind me.
I will be sending the continuous
Hey.
COD invites every hour on the hour until you commit. There's
Dante,
different types of chair exercises. Okay, you can
Yeah.
chair exercise your thumbs. Like, let's go.
No, that's not, you know. And oddly enough, my hands are in shape, so you know, that's because of gaming, you know. Yeah. So, but to answer your question, Dante, Esteban, it's I mean, you know, kind of, but you know, it's not that, you know, but it
The
is
answer
a
is
challenge.
yes,
It is
the
a
answer is no.
challenging type of thing to do. Mostly, I mean, y'all been seeing the commercials and everything. I'm telling you, man, you know, you see it on the commercial, but you see it on the commercials with an already fit dude that's, you know, already fit and doing a lot of that stuff. I'm telling you, when you do it, because if you're not in shape and you get into that, I'm telling you, you're gonna feel a difference. So so yeah, man, you know, I'm happy about that. I'm happy that that's going on for me. And then, you know, let's go. Yeah, I can't wait to get this topic going. My man, how you doing, man?
Yo, so listen, this Christmas has been a good go around for me. Got some family members that came up from out of town. My wife's brother was here, who was like a brother to me as well. His wife and my niece. So it was cool to see them. Got a chance to just kind of hang out and play games and just relax, man. Be around family. that's very important to me, especially as I get older. You start to realize the importance of just being at home and with your family, as opposed to kind of running the streets and trying to visit people who really ain't been visiting you, you know. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it was cool to see that. You know, over the holidays we lost my uncle. My uncle Mike passed away, and he was battling lung
Sorry to hear that,
cancer,
man.
and he beat it once, and the second time, you know, he just couldn't fight no more. So shout out to him. Part of the reason that I am the man who I am today is because of him.
Rest in
So
peace.
thank you. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Rest in
man.
peace, Uncle Mike.
Condolences.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And
Good people. Good
if I can say this, your uncle Mike, man, you raised one hell of a guy. You know,
appreciate
you
that.
raised one hell of a guy, and you know we appreciate every being of who he is right now, because he's that for us.
Yeah,
appreciate
for
that.
Sure, man. No, I appreciate that, man. That means a lot. So, you know, got a chance to see him go and you know, hang out with some family, some out of town family who was up here. See them. I haven't seen them in like 10, 15 years, so it was cool to see some of them, and it was good, man. You know, the new year is what it is. It brings in the ability to have a clogged, congested gym. So I'm glad I go at 5:30 in the morning, because I don't have to run into those new year, new me people. But you know, shout out to all the people who are definitely serious about taking their weight loss serious, who don't fall off after this first week. And shout out to the people who are just at least trying something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's not easy. That's not easy at all. Take it from somebody who's done it. You know, I was dang near 300 pounds, and 4 years later, you know, I hit my weight loss goal last year. I wanted to be 227. I eclipsed it. I was 225, and now I'm slowly building muscle back up, and man, I'm feeling good, feeling great. So this year has been a good year for me. It's been a good year for my family, despite the car accident, despite everything that kind of took place there. But we still here, man, and we're just excited to see what 2025 brings.
Indeed.
Nice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I cannot picture you at 300 pounds, man. That's outstanding. Well done.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
The dude looks so different.
No,
I mean, I don't know if y'all seen old pictures of us when we used to hang out in conventions from back in the day.
Way back.
But if you looked at those pictures now, you wouldn't you kind of wouldn't recognize this dude. Man.
Yeah.
I was just like, yo, him and Jose. You know, so
same
dude,
sure.
If you looking for inspiration, those are two dudes you can look at right now and get that inspiration. That's why I'm looking at them. I'm like, these young kids, I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get up on that too. So yeah, man. Thanks for the inspiration. Thanks for the goal setting, and let's do it. No
doubt, man. No doubt. So for anybody who's
Rock Health and Fitness.
There we go. I was just about to say that we definitely have a private Facebook group. You got to be a member of the Realm of Collectors to get in, but join the Realm if you haven't. But if you are there, go ahead and look up Rock Health and Fitness. And you can check us out on Facebook. There's tons of guys and gals in there doing their thing. Tons of people who just want to help motivate each other. There's a judgment-free zone, unless, of course, you don't go to the doctor. Ain't that right, Greg? But
right.
Other than that, man, we there. Yeah. Oh yeah. He had to have it. He had to get it. He had to get it. But speaking of the doctor, man, I got an appointment to go see them in a few weeks. My throat, like when I talk, it just seems a little more like a strain now. And I think there's something going on. Like I can't really hold a note like I used to just recently. So I've been dealing with it for a couple months. So I'm gonna go get it checked out at the end of the month. But listen, when something's going bad, like we getting older, we can't just wait. You gotta go to the doctor, set up an appointment, get your physicals. If you over a certain age, they got to get that finger in there. I mean,
trying to say, man.
What
trying to say?
Yeah, he's not lying.
We got to go get that check, man. We dying younger and younger, so not the serious is out or anything, but we're not getting younger.
Pride go.
Yeah,
let the pride go, man. Sean just went to my cardiologist. I just had her going to my cardiologist appointment. That was the whole, because I had to do that in order to get started with this, and had her going. It's a thing to be accountable for yourself, but it helps to have your spouse or someone close to you to help you be accountable. So
100%.
Yeah.
100%. All right, well, enough of the serious stuff. Let's get into some more fun stuff, man. Let's see what let's see if anybody transformed, man. Let's see if anybody's transformed. Let's go ahead and start with, since I started with all these guys before. Derek, let's start with you. Did you transform?
Wow. Right out the gate.
Right out. That's another show, but
we got to do that again, man. We got to get that.
Yeah,
again.
it's been way.
It's
too
been
long.
a minute. It's been way too long, and but I'm still wearing sandals. It's the inside joke.
Inside jokes.
Yeah.
That's why none of us are laughing. We have no idea what's going on.
So
y'all got to go back and watch some of them old episodes. Hilarious.
God.
Bro.
yes, man. I'm telling you, man, that was some fun times. But anyway, I don't want to waste time. So y'all know me. A lot of y'all know me a long time in this joint now. You know who my favorite character is, and
Rodimus.
I've
Jazz.
Huh? You know what?
I mean, Jazz is close. He's close, but
Grimlock.
I give you that. It is close. It is close. But we're gonna be talking after the show. As y'all know, I've also been going deep in the rabbit hole for the new age figures and all that because I found them to be very, very entertaining.
We hooked him.
Yeah. So got my blasters.
3-pack.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for a couple of others. But yeah, man.
Wow, talk about rabbit hole inside a rabbit hole. Holy cow.
I'm waiting for it now. Not only I'm not just waiting for a couple of others. I'm waiting for a couple of other blasters that came out.
Did you get the red one?
I'm getting,
Did you get the red one?
Get the original.
Red one,
Not
the
yet.
original one.
Well, I mean, I got the original one, of course.
The original
but
one.
I'm talking about these babies.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've been transforming them back and forth all since I got them. And man, I absolutely love these. So first of all, you got the tune version, you have twin cast, and you have the comic version. So, I'm sorry, the toy version. So, I got the comic version coming. I got the Shattered Glass one coming, and I'm thinking about that. The only thing about that red one, the Hate Plague one, that's what I call it. The Hate Plague one.
Is that what it is? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I call it because that's what it is. They're coming out with a clear one, but this one is all red. All red. It's not no clear yellow or anything. It's all clear red. And New Age does these. They pick a couple of characters where they actually do the all clear and they pick a color for it. Like for example, when they did Slag, they did an all blue one. So that one is a that one is a rare one too. And they also limit those. They only do a limited number of those. This blaster one that I'm looking at is $200. So I gotta really think about whether I want to actually get that one or not. And they only make
a Legends figure.
Yeah, 200 because it's a limited figure and they only making 50.
I would rather buy Scotty's hoodie that I probably wouldn't wear than
so that's gonna be it. Listen, somebody write that down. That's another topic I want to dive into.
Yeah,
what makes something valuable? I want us to dive into that because I got some probably not so favorable opinions on that. But sorry to steal your mojo.
No. That's absolutely fine. Because it has to be talked about. So I'm thinking about going that route with that one. Because it's blaster. I collect everything blaster related. So, even can openers. So,
by the way, did you go in on the Lewin?
Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. Yeah. We'll talk about that.
We have to wait until it
real quick.
shows
Shout
up.
out to Scully for this one. That's my dude. But got the blanket, got his blankets, the artwork, all that shit. Yeah, but anything blaster related, I'm pretty much gonna get my hands on because that's my favorite character. So, that's pretty much it for me. So, take it away.
Let's go and get Scott. Let's get you. It's hard to stop, Scott, man.
We gotta start doing that.
It's time to go to Scott. Scott.
It just don't have that same ring. It sounds all extra
Marble.
professional and all that.
Marble.
Scott Rod.
So
gonna get used to
interestingly
saying
enough,
Scott Rod.
I was thinking on my ride home from work tonight, I'm like, oh, what? I don't think I got anything. I was thinking, oh, it was going to be a goose egg.
It's
But
been a
then,
month.
yeah, and I know that's exactly right. Like that's exactly what I was thinking.
Dude,
Man, I can't believe
You're
I'm gonna-
shopping for hoodies too much. Like you gotta focus your priorities here. Like, what are we doing?
But the reality is that I did have something come in over the last few weeks that was worthwhile, and so
Ooh.
Oh.
The G Creations.
yeah.
Oh,
yes.
dude, nice. Oh, that's a lot bigger than
Oh,
I
the
thought.
Shattered
it was.
Glass
Okay.
G Creations Prime. Oh man, that's gorgeous.
It's either a lot bigger than you thought it was, or I'm simply a lot smaller than you thought I was.
No, it is. That's right.
Both can be true.
Both are true. Two
You
things
know?
can be true at once.
So
Man, I like the original one. I never went in on the original one, but man,
Neither.
No,
This
the original one
Prime.
was cool. I ended up selling it eventually, but I love the Evangelion deco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would love
Yeah.
to have that MP10 Evangelion, but it is it's way
it's
too much
pricey.
for just a simple repaint for me.
okay.
And even there's a knockoff out there of it even, but the knockoff goes for $300. So I was like, no.
Phew.
No. So
Listen,
this is my
You got to put that thing under a black light. That's gonna be sweet.
and I'll tell you
Yeah.
what, I mean, they did a great job with all the Tampo paint that
Yeah.
this guy has. Like they
Mhm.
didn't skimp. Like it's very well done. So I'm happy with my purchase.
Good.
Nice.
Yes.
How's the transformation?
I'm not gonna touch that thing.
So listen, I heard that the transformation is
you
different from
didn't.
the original. Apparently, they made some changes to it.
They're supposed to have made some
Hmm.
improvements. The
Yeah,
original
okay.
was a little sketch. Like
Yeah.
especially I know that
Breaks. So good.
MP10 Evangelion is worth 2 hoodies. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, it is worth 2 hoodies.
Yeah, it is.
These little tabs right here, this little
Yeah.
purple tab, it was one of the things that broke off a lot in the original one.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
So Scott, did you do any type of move changing of it at all? You know.
No, he don't transform, bro.
So did,
I just
so
I
you,
posed it, man. I posed
you
it.
didn't you
City.
just posed it. So you didn't transform, bro? Is
Okay.
that what it was?
Okay, now well, our goalposts keep changing on this one.
No. You know what? Guys, I'm giving him a pass on that one because that's an absolutely great figure. So I'm I'll say you when you took it out the
I mean,
box
it ain't
and
no
moved the
bottle
arm,
opener or
that's
anything.
transforming.
But, you know,
So yeah. I get it. to you,
Hey, that thing transforms a bottle from a closed bottle to an open bottle. You shut up.
Scott. So yeah, I give it to you, Scott. You know, but yeah, I want to see that in person. I
Yeah.
gotta see it.
That's a nice looking figure.
Yeah.
well, we have your rooms ready for when you want to come down and visit.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah. Make sure you put a blaster poster up, and I'll send you one. So
Yeah.
all right.
That's what's up. That it for you, Scotty?
It is, sir.
All right, Rusty. Boom. He's in there.
Yep.
Trying to imitate another show that's kind of popular on this channel.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Don't do
So
that.
I won't do that. I'm sorry. Apologies to
Good
the
lord.
other show. So like I said, I didn't get anything for over Christmas, so I treated myself. I decided you guys are gonna buy me transforming figures. I'm gonna buy myself transforming figures. And much in the
Yes.
same line of my buddy, my man, my bro, Derek B over there, I also dove into the blaster line, but for completely different reasons, which I will get into. But I did pick up Twin Cats.
Okay. All right.
Only because of the sketchiness that is New Age in giving
Yes.
us only 2 of the
Yep.
cassettes, so that you
Think
have to
on it.
buy another figure.
Yeah,
to
that's
get
the other
other
thing.
2 cassettes.
Yes. I actually have all four tapes as a result of getting all 3 of
sick,
these.
sick bastards,
Yeah.
making me
Yeah.
buy. What is
Yeah.
what is this a Gen 2? Like what is Twin Cast? I don't even know.
No,
the
he's
lore
from
behind
Twin
this.
Cast is
G1
Headmaster
Headmasters.
Yeah.
Is that where it's
Headmaster
from?
Series
When he died and was reimagined or
Yeah.
whatever.
I didn't even want to do
A
this.
rebirth, a
Reincarnated.
rebirth of Blaster. Yeah, it's a rebirth.
Had
Basically.
to. Anyway, so I bought this guy. I haven't even opened the box yet because I've been busy dealing with other stuff, such as dun, da, 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 Magic Square Munitioner
Okay.
and his good friend Magic Square Heavy Gunner,
Raw.
right?
All right.
The reason why I say I've been busy working on these guys is because these are the guys that I'm giving away this month in support of Kennedy's Village. And I'm doing all of the videos and stuff. So I'm promoting Kennedy's Village and my raffle right now on my YouTube channel. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm going to be giving these guys away at the end of the month in support of Kennedy's Village. It's $1 to enter the raffle, and you can enter as many times as you want. And I'm going to be giving one of these guys away. And if we get enough entries, I'll give them both away.
Okay. All right.
So go check it out on my
where my
YouTube
money's
channel, guys. Go check out my Facebook channel. I've got all the details in there so we can help out Eric and his crew there over in Kennedy's Village. We'll do that at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you.
Right?
Yes.
We're already,
Yes.
by the way, we're already at 75 entries, Eric. So we're well on our way to that 100 limit that I'm
Nice.
looking for. If I get 200, I'll give away both.
Let's go.
Okay. All right. Let's go, folks.
Yes,
And I believe we've
yes.
already posted up in most of the groups, but we'll be happy to do it again. So we can go ahead and get that done. Yeah, that's what's up. Thanks. That's what's up, Rusty.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Dope. All right. Well, I guess that leaves me, right? So I'll make mine quick. Let's start with something that I think a lot of people were anticipating just based on the looks. So shout out to Yolo Park. Amazon delivered this over the holidays.
Nice.
I
Good
got
Lord,
the
that's
Yellow
beautiful.
Park, dude. And not only is it beautiful, it looks just like the masterpiece. which is
Yeah.
nuts. It's nuts. So this is on my work desk at work, and it's something that just sits there on the stand next to the Prime from there, and then next to my good brother Derek and the guys over at the Right Out of the Box crew gave me that Optus Pexis, and so that's on my desk. So I get to kind of mess around with something while I'm at work.
Have you put that that Yolo Park and the Masterpiece one together to see the difference? And
No, so this one is thinner off the rip, and it's a little smaller, but it looks very similar. It has diecast in it.
Very close.
It's very, very close. It's just a little smaller, but not like it's fire. The back cleans up better on here though, because it don't.
Yeah, because you can tell when you first put it up, that paint just was like
pops.
bam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the two of them now. The MP52 is a little darker too than
it's a
than
lot
the Yolo Park
darker
one.
than
So
gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
So I got that. Canada decided to move its butt on shipping packages. So my brother Rusty, he sent this.
Boom.
So I got my Studio Series 86
Studio.
Prime. Thank you, sir. I'm just waiting on the Megatron to show up now from New Age.
Oh yeah.
The Studio Series
Oh,
size.
the
I'm good there.
Romulus.
Yeah, whatever y'all want to call them.
Okay.
So I got that, and then
Yep.
shout out to Rabbit Holes, I guess. The moment I seen this go up for pre-order, I knew I had to have
This
it.
thing, oh my god, you guys are
It's
killing
dope.
me.
Man.
This is
That's
going to be
crazy.
another rabbit hole you guys are going to drive
Yep.
me down. Like you did this to me with the Yolo Park stuff, and this is gonna is
Yeah.
gonna suck me in, man.
Realm of Enablers. When I tell you this thing is cool, all of this armor and stuff comes off. It forms a bike. If you're familiar with Mosquita, shout out to Moshu, which is one of Mosho, which is one of Derek's new rabbit holes as well. They make a good figure. What's crazy though is they also did. So they had the magnetic stands right there.
Yeah, that's what
Look
they
at that.
specialize in. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh wow.
That's cool.
Okay.
All
Crunchyroll.
the
Shout out to Crunchyroll.
Harmony
and
Gold.
Harmony
Gold.
Gold.
Toyami, like they got it all down there. So
Yeah. Pimping ain't
and
easy.
Nope. And then listen to this.
Yep.
Like that's a strong magnet. Now I wouldn't hold it upside down because it'll fall off, but this is a very strong magnet. And you need that to hold the figure up because that backpack isn't light.
Yeah. And to get it in the poses that you need, that you want to do, That magnetic stand, that magnetic plate will actually help you get most of that stuff.
100%. So Brian, I got it from Randy over at Notre Dame. He has a few left, so hit him up. I'm sure he'll ship it to you. But yeah, it's out. He has a few of them.
What's the cost?
Standard retail is 180.
Okay. Not terrible.
Not bad.
No,
not bad at all.
Decent.
Especially
that's your average. That's about your average Mosho figure.
Yeah. So when you think about
the most expensive I've seen them is about 225, 230 at the most, and that's from Show Z. So
yeah,
Nice.
man. So they make a good figure. All right. Well, let's just take a second to
one more thing that I
Yes,
added
sir.
to my collection over the last month. Actually,
We can't go back. We've done you.
It was just added in the last hour.
Oh,
What?
Oh,
I just got a text.
Breaking news?
Yeah, breaking
Bam,
news.
bam.
Bam, bam. No, we're not allowed to do that. Apparently, come
Grandpa,
up with our own stuff.
Grandpa
this
times,
just in.
times
Dun,
6.
dun, dun, dun. Do the balloon thing.
Let him do it. Come on. What you got, Scott?
Grandpa times 6.
Hey, congratulations,
Wow! Congrats!
Live on the air.
Right.
This Ian is
Bringing
right.
you
Yeah.
This Ian is right.
new
Right to this
children.
world.
Yeah.
Literally just got the text.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Nice.
Marble family has expanded.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up, man. Well,
That's what's
before we move on to anything else, let's go ahead and pay some bills. I just want to talk about our sponsor. This show is brought to you by Nick the Toy Guy. But let me see if I can find that banner. Where is it at? It's been a minute.
I'm gonna answer Jedi's question. Jedi, no, you don't get all of the tapes with Blaster. You only get 2 of them, so you have to buy some of the other new age blasters to get the rest.
To
Womp
complete
womp.
this
Anyway,
set.
this guy.
Yeah, man. So shout out to Nick the Toy Guy, our sponsor of tonight's show. Nick the Toy Guy specializes in third-party and other action figures. So head on over to nickthetoyguy.com and don't forget to use the promo code DYETB10 for 10% off your entire order. Combine that with code FREESHIP for free shipping for rates under $10. Shout out to Nick the Toy Guy.
Yes, sir.
And
That's a nice banner. I wonder who made that.
yeah, some guy up north.
Some guy.
America's hat. Some guy.
Not for long. Not for long.
Yeah, it's gonna be America's twin in a minute.
Whatever.
All right. Well, here comes one of my favorite parts of the show. We're gonna find out, does it still hold up?
Look
All right.
at Dante Baio with the dad jokes already. Like,
Yeah, that's my dude, man. He had dad jokes before that, though, bro. I know you won't take it for granted. That's good.
See, I every time I hear you say marble, I always picture the marble.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not picturing the stone. So well done, Esteban. Well done.
Well done. I thought it'd be just as high or higher than a Macross jet. So you can still get some Macross jets for cheap. Not all of them are super expensive. So if you go to, like, if you're looking for Toyami stuff, you can probably get it for like under $200, which isn't super expensive. But they're also not as big as something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're definitely
And the Bandai stuff is expensive. That stuff is
Mhm.
$300-$400 depending on what you get. So
those 3-0 ones are pretty nice, man.
yeah, and those are on the cheaper end, like what, 159?
Yeah.
Yeah, with no fast pack armor. So
They
Yeah.
don't
Okay.
transform though, right? They're just statues.
Well, they
No, they
transform.
oh, they do.
Yeah.
Eh? Oh,
They
It's
got
very
like that.
impressive transformation.
Yeah, it's not the MDLX or the DLX series or anything like that.
oh, is that the
These
difference?
actually-
Okay.
Yeah, these actually do transform. So
Yeah, it's like their Voltron, 3-0 made a Voltron that actually transforms.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, man. All right, so I'm on the spot tonight for Does It Still Hold Up? And in light of something that we believe should be coming soon, that DX9 Sideswipe, I decided let's look at the bag cube.
Oh,
And as you can
okay.
see here,
Right. Yeah.
All righty.
look at that paint. It's still shiny. Still
shiny.
shiny.
Did
Is
you
that
just
paint
clean
or
that?
is it just really glossy plastic?
Yeah.
No, it's painted.
Did you just clean that?
Nope.
That thing has got to be
Right,
about
right.
10 years old now.
So it's at least 6 because I
6, yeah.
remember buying this from Jose when he was getting out a masterpiece.
You know, he polished
okay.
that thing up. Bro got no mod cases over there, so yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's just off the paint alone, I can tell that it still withstands the test of time. But this figure, when
Okay.
it dropped, was during the time where Baaack was kind of at its height. And so I enjoyed it. It was the first time we got a more accurate, cartoon accurate side swipe, where the arms had the windows on them. You didn't have to worry about like wheels or anything being on them. And so it was pretty cool. So let's take a look at the articulation. Has a double jointed elbow. Well, technically it's a single bend, but it gives you
Goes all
past
the way.
90 degrees.
Hmm.
So that's cool. It has ratchet, a very soft plastic ratchet for the arm, which it didn't need, but cool. I enjoy it. No ab crunch at the time. That wasn't a big thing. But it does also have, if you can kind of get that thing out the way, you can get almost a double jointed knee. So that's cool. Well, past 90 degrees because it's not really double jointed. So that's cool. Has a waist swivel and the toe articulation. So it has that there. Little rocker action. And I think it fits. Is it a little bulky around the arms? For sure. But if you put this next to the Takara, it blows the Takara away every time.
It does. It does.
100%. And
The only thing that weight. It's definitely
it's light.
It's light.
Yep, it's very light. It I think it does have no die cast in it. It's all
None.
plastic.
Yep.
I
would liken it actually to the two that you just picked up, Rusty. But the reality is the two you picked up are probably both heavier than this.
Yeah, I mean the two Magic Square ones, they feel heavy. Even though I was a little surprised too. Where I was like, I don't think there's any die cast in this thing, but they feel heavy. So interesting that the but I don't think the Takara one had die cast in it either, right?
No,
it was all plastic.
No.
Yeah. So
this Bad Cube one though is still lighter than all of them.
Yeah, it was a
considerably
plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe this is painted. It's gonna be hard to tell, but just looking.
Take a little bit of
Gord is saying no. Gord is saying it's just high gloss plastic.
Take a piece of sandy paper to that and check it out.
Yeah, good luck. Well, that's what I'm looking at here. Like there is a small little blemish there. It's kind of hard to tell from there, but no, I don't think this is plastic. Just gloss plastic. This is painted. And Gort wouldn't know. He hasn't had a masterpiece in his hand in years.
His favorite still Takara Sideswipe.
Right.
That's all you got to tell me, buddy.
Also questionable decisions there. Gort,
life decisions.
What's cool about it though is that it also did look good next to not Sideswipe, but Sunstreaker.
Yes,
this came out first. Sidestreaker came out after, and it was great. So. Chat squad, let me know what you think before we move forward and we give our opinions. Do you guys think that this still holds up? I'm definitely getting the DX9, and then I'll compare the two in hand, and this will likely be the one that goes in the car mode. And I'll sell my Takara Plus for $20 because that's probably all it's worth nowadays. Chat squad. I am a practitioner of good taste. And I know my clear coats when I sees it.
Yep.
Yeah,
I just read that in.
That's why I wasn't debating with you. I'm like, yo, this dude sell cars. Why would he not know that? So yeah.
Dude, I work in the car industry, bro. Like I know what's painted and what's not.
He knows what clear coat is guaranteed. Yeah. Also, Brink and Gort, do you guys want to get a room? Take care of Sideswipe room of some type. I don't know.
Wow, a lot of Takara love in here for Sideswipe.
Hey man,
Brink, I don't hate Takara. I hate that Ace loves Takara so much. That's what I hate. That's
The
what
car
I hate.
can do no wrong. Is that
Brink has an unhealthy
Yeah.
fixation on the blue headlights from the DX9.
Yeah, he does.
And it really came to head for me last week when he was doing that review for the MPGO. Now I was like, yo,
It's like
this
if
is-
Megan Fox had a
this
wart
really
on
is
her
a
nose.
thing. This really is a thing for him.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
for Ace, I was like, yep.
He's
But
biased,
I do
bro.
thank y'all because y'all convinced me that I don't need it. So I canceled that pre-order with the quickness, boy. Oh, my
Wait until those
goodness.
pictures start rolling in, man. Brink is like if Megan Fox had a wart on her nose, he'd throw the whole thing away because of that wart. It's like these blue headlights for Sideswipe. I'm telling you.
I don't know. Megan Fox, she probably would get dumped for a big wart on her nose.
Yeah, she absolutely would.
I can't
Let's
look
all
at
be
that
real
shiner
about
on
that for a
head, bro.
second.
Yeah.
She absolutely would. So
sad to say?
don't lie to
man.
yourselves.
Hmm.
I mean, I hear you, Brink. The Takara just never. I mean, it was ahead of its time. Don't get me wrong. Like that was the only side swipe we had till we realized somebody could do it better. And that chest was big boy chest. Like it was giving me Schwarzenegger vibes from somebody who shouldn't have been Schwarzenegger. Like
wide load coming through.
Yeah, man, it just wasn't my bag. So when I realized somebody did it better, it was like, all right, cool, that looks better, and it was a better action figure overall, more articulation and stuff like that. I don't hate on Takara. I still have quite a bit of Takara stuff in my collection, quite a bit.
Yeah, and you know you guys are right too. The DX9 one, because originally when we were looking at like the renders, right, I was complaining about the split in the chest, right? But you're right. Once they started showing the actual figure, right, you don't even see it.
Nope.
So good job. Yeah,
I'm all over that thing.
That's
man.
another thing. Yeah, the whole splitting in the chest thing, because the same thing happened with Cup. I'm like, yo, these things were engineered beautifully. I don't care if they don't have to look exactly like the cartoon. As long as it's engineered to do exactly what it's supposed to do and have the appearance of what it's supposed to look like, that's a win for me. So
100%.
Yeah,
100%. No, I agree.
Who cares?
I'm good with I'm good with lines and stuff as long as it's not, you know, blatantly taking away from the aesthetic of the figure, right? I'm with you. Like sometimes we had to give stuff up for the engineering and all that stuff, right? Which is fair, right? But I mean, as long as it's not, you know, dead in my face, distracting, then great. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, you got to be a real picky to let something like that bother you. But anyway.
Yeah, and for me, man, it still holds up. It is my side swipe. It has been for quite some time, like years now at this point.
Yeah.
So I believe it still holds up in my opinion.
That's what's up.
But you will be swapping out for DX9.
Yeah. That thing is blowing us out the water. See, Brink? I'm telling you, when you look at them side by side, you know, blowing them out the water is not the car hate. It's just it does what we wanted this to do.
Yep.
It just didn't pull off fully, but it was better than the Takara.
Yeah.
But Brink, think
of all the Takara one.
Think of all the money Brink will save by not buying it. He can get 2 hoodies.
A whole $99. No.
I didn't say the hoodies were good. I just said he could buy 2 of them.
He can just buy 2 non-good hoodies. Got it. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into the topic. I think this has been a long time coming. I'm sure there may have been other shows that have talked about it. Rusty had the idea to talk about it, brought it to the table. We know Scott has did some leg work on it. So the topic tonight is the rise in overseas e-tailers / retailers, how they can get us products more cheap or cheaper than the U.S. retailers, and how are they doing it and paying less in shipping. So, Rusty, since this was your topic, I'll let you intro where this came from in your brain, and then we'll let Scott kind of take the reins and show us a couple of things. Get your notebooks out, guys. Get your pens ready.
Yep.
This is right up your alley tonight, bro.
There's gonna be some mathing involved, and I know math is hard. But we'll walk you through it. Don't worry. So I'll give a shout out to Madhouse. So it was Eric at Madhouse and I were chatting right around Christmas time. So funnily enough, it actually stemmed from Yola Park Starscream. We were comparing notes on Yola Park Starscream, what his cost was, what he was able to sell it for on on his site. And then oddly enough, we discovered that even on Yolo Park's website, it was cheaper than what his cost was. And we started getting into this discussion about, what the manufacturers are allowed to do, what the retailers in China, right, overseas are able to do in regards to things like negotiations of prices on cases of figures, large volume of figures, and what he unfortunately has to live with, which we'll go through, and Scotty will guide us through all this stuff because he's well versed and knowledgeable in all this stuff. Things like overseas shipping, tariffs, duties, taxes, and any other fees that U.S. and Canadian, North American retailers, even European retailers in some cases, have to deal with, that the Chinese retailers just don't have to deal with. Right? They have all those advantages. So that's kind of where the idea came from. Was a conversation I was having with Eric at Madhouse and other North American retailers like him, and the struggles that they have in trying to maintain the same prices that the overseas retailers had, while at the same time still trying to meet their margins that makes them profitable and still allows us to be able to get the those collectibles that we know and love from these guys at affordable prices. That's essentially where it all came from.
Okay.
Awesome. And before you go, Scotty, for people who don't understand what margins are, margin is your ability to make profit versus net, right? So your margins are that sweet spot in between. This is how much I pay for the item. This is my profit margin. So anything that I sell it for is all profit for me, minus what I paid for the item, right? So that's the profit margin for those who don't know. All right, Scotty.
All right. So just a little bit of background. I have been working in the import business at some level or another since the early 2000s. So that's been my career, is supply chain, and more specifically importing and exporting of primarily consumer goods, clothing, and hard goods in the kind of like camping and backyard and household items areas of the business. So I had a brief stint as a Transformers retailer back when MMC were doing their Predacons. I was buying directly. I was buying directly from MMC, so I kind of had a glimpse at that point into the margins of what some of the retailers get. But I would also say that everything within this conversation constantly changes. The duty rates are constantly changing every single year. Trump is talking about his export tariffs. That's duties, ladies and gentlemen. Like that's straight up duties. So that stuff changes, the rates of shipping changes, et cetera, et cetera. So, this is to give an overall glimpse and into what this looks like, the basic mechanics. But the way that I put this together is so that you can effectively copy what I'm doing and kind of plug in whatever numbers you feel are appropriate or have maybe some knowledge of. Can you guys all see my screen?
Yes, we can.
All right.
Now make that much bigger.
Yes, it can do that. It can do that.
For us old heads over here.
Yeah.
Our old eyes.
I am not as well versed in Google Sheets as I am
Excel.
As I am Excel.
Yeah.
It's
There
the
we
same
go.
basic formula, but
Beautiful.
hold on a second.
Love it.
Damn it.
Give me a second. I'll be right back.
Okay. We'll be here.
There we go. Okay. All right. Let me bring this back down.
Okay, no zoom out.
There we go.
He's
All right.
now he's just messing
Little-
with you.
Little more.
There you go.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna start off with the basic premise that, and again, while I say I speak in generalities, the basic premise that everyone's buying at the same cost, and that is not necessarily true.
Right.
Everybody can negotiate their cost with XYZ manufacturer, and I would say that that those people who grow up in Asian countries, the majority of Asian countries, have a leg up on us from a negotiation standpoint, because their system of trade is far more dependent on bartering than the US is. We have fixed priced type of mentality, so we don't grow up bartering for what we're buying. Whereas a lot of these countries, everything that they purchase, with maybe the exception of their groceries, are bartered for. Okay.
Okay.
So we're kind of, again, generality, we're assuming everybody's buying it at the same price. So I just plugged in a basic number here of $50. I figured this was close enough for reasonably larger size Legends costs, or your basic, like, hey, if I were buying this DX9 figure and I assumed that the cost was $50, the reality is it's probably more expensive than that. It's probably like $70. Because what I came to understand from my brief stint was that most of these margins are in the like lower 30s or high 20s for most retailers. Yeah, it's not great margins for sure. For example, I've been the most deep into the sporting goods arena. For a sporting goods store to be successful, they have to get a minimum gross margin of 42%.
Holy smokes!
Off of everything that they do. And that, so that's gross margin. Obviously, that's
not net.
Not taking into account, expenses, etc. Okay,
expenses and stuff. Yeah.
All right. So China-based retailer. This could be a Shozi. This could be a Bombas B. This could be any random. And I use China because the vast majority of our figures are made in China still. I realize that Hasbro is starting to use other countries such as Vietnam for their manufacturing, and I believe that more and more manufacturing will move there eventually. But for right now, the vast majority of our stuff is made in China. And I'm comparing kind of apples to apples for like a Shozi versus a BBTS. But you could honestly poke in, punch in the Chosen Prime or any of our favorite U.S. retailers, Toy Dojo, et cetera,
or Canadian.
Or Canadian, and it would be the relatively the same thing.
Yeah.
So they have to pay overseas shipping. There's a few different options in overseas shipping, but your two primary uses are ocean and air. Now, of course, again, relatively speaking, there are different types of ocean rates. I can buy a full container worth of product and pay very different prices than I can pay being a LTL or what's considered a less than container load. And then there are also like spot rates where I can, say, hey, I'm going to send this into you. It's going to go into a bonded warehouse. It's going to sit for however many days that it needs to sit in order for a container to be full, and then it'll ship. Again, different price, right? So I'm just comparing apples to apples from an ocean freight perspective, saying, generally speaking, if I buy a legend scale figure, Shozi's usually charge me around $8 in shipping, right? And so assuming that $8, if BBTS used the same type of shipping method to get it to themselves, then let's just take that as apples to apples. In this scenario, Shozi is not paying duty. So there is a limit. It's around the $800 mark. But as you can imagine, BBTS is not just buying one figure. They're buying their whole shipment from the vendor and having that shipped to them. So they definitely bump the $800 mark, and therefore they have to pay duty on anything that's incoming into the United States. Otherwise, they threaten their whole business being shut down based upon fraud. So right away, there's $3.40 because the duty on action figures, at least in 2024, early 2024, when I last looked at it, 6.8%. Okay. There's importation fees that they have to pay that that Shozi is not going to pay because they're shipping it directly to you. And then, of course, because Shozi is shipping it directly to you, they're not paying any type of domestic freight. Now, I worked for several businesses that were far larger than BBTS from an annual revenue as well as a amount of volume shipped. Now, of course, I don't know BBTS's volume, but given our business size and the kind of model that BBTS has, it's a pretty safe assumption that we were, much larger. And the best rates that we could negotiate for a ground shipping, which is what BBTS uses when they use their flat rate shipping, was around $7 a parcel for a standard parcel. Okay.
All right.
So that's what I gave. I gave BBTS basically the lowest denominator. The reality is it's very unlikely that they're paying this low in freight. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Very unlikely.
Very unlikely. Yeah.
Okay. But I'm giving them the best benefit of the doubt. So at the end of the day, their total all-in cost from for Shozi is $58 on a $50 purchase, whereas immediately BBTS is paying $11.40 more
because of duty and import fee, and then ground shipping.
Correct.
Domestic, yeah.
Correct. And so even if let's say this would be 11.40 to make kind of the same exact amount of money, 1111.39, right? They're already making less as a percentage of a return on their money.
Crazy.
Now, we talked about this before, right? In the sense that so margin is definitely a financial component. It is how you look at it, because 99% of the businesses out there do not buy with their own cash. And so they have to buy on a credit line.
Okay.
And so that credit line costs them money, right? I haven't even factored that in.
Right.
I haven't factored in the U.S. domestic warehouse costs, which are more expensive than China warehouse costs, because that becomes a lot more convoluted of a conversation. But I haven't factored in just the simple cost of money. Shozi gets their money up front before they even ship, but I mean, basically before that figure even lands to them, right? Because they ask for our payment and then they ship it out 1 or 2 weeks later, right? BBTS is paying for that product at the time that the vendor ships it.
Okay.
So they got money tied up already.
And so if they're shipping ocean freight, they're having that money tied up for the entire time that ocean freight takes to get to them, and then until they charge us. So they're paying interest on that money.
Yeah.
So real quick, I don't know if Brink is being serious or not, but I can tell you, if you are being serious, that's a big fat no. You have to put that in the cost of doing business.
I don't know what he's asking, actually.
You can't write off duty fees from your taxes.
Yeah,
no,
you
cannot.
You can't write off taxes to get taxes back. That's
right.
No,
That's not
cannot.
how that works. Yeah.
Yeah. But good question.
Yep.
Okay. And so, there is more costs involved for the U.S. retailer than just this, but this breaks it down as simply as possible and shows you that even when all things are considered equal, and they're charging us almost $12 more per figure for this very, inexpensive figure, they're not making any more money. And in most, obviously they would normally not charge 111. They're normally like $199, type of thing. They're making less. Right. And you can see that BBTS has attempted to be more competitive from a pricing perspective, because there was a time where they were using air freight.
It was a good question, Brink. It was a good question. Very good question, sir.
Yeah, it was a good question.
Yes, there's no bad questions, Chat Squad. Please fire them off.
And so there are still U.S. retailers that are airing product over here, because you can, like, for instance, Toy Jojo oftentimes gets stuff even and is shipping it even before I get shipped from Shozi. Right? So you think about Toy Jojo's perspective on this piece, and so that would be this any other U.S. retailer who's shipping via air.
Mhm.
Air costs are 5 times more expensive than ocean costs. And again, this is an average. Air rates fluctuate, depends on where they're shipping from, where they're shipping to, time of
Mhm.
year, all kinds of different things. But on average, it's about 5 times more expensive. So you can see that they're all in cost on the same figure. Is $101. Like, it's more expensive than what Shozi is charging you.
Wow.
Mhm.
And
Right.
this also explains why in recent years, mainly last year, we've seen our US based retailers go up on either a dollar on their standard shipping, or they're not giving you free shipping unless it's another $50 more.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, because their
Yeah.
costs increased, shipping costs have increased for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is also based on the fact that they actually work out these rates with these shipping companies ahead of time, correct? Is that also a factor?
So larger companies do negotiate their shipping rates for sure.
Mhm.
But the realm that we are in from a toy collector standpoint, I would be shocked if BBTS, even, who I would consider to be one of the larger collectibles retailers in the market, I'd be
Mhm.
shocked if they're actually negotiating freight rates, ocean freight rates.
I can't see how any of the groups, right, the stores, the retailers that we support are bringing in enough volume for them to be able to negotiate any type of price whatsoever, right? I mean,
Right.
you know, we're talking about like a few cases of figures a month sort of thing, right? It's probably not even
Mhm.
filling a container, right? Like Scott said, right? So yeah, I doubt that they're negotiating anything.
Well, and a lot of times, like, right, you've got to have a certain volume coming out of a certain port. So
Yes.
even
Yeah.
at that point, like, I could have some of my figures being made in Ningbo and some of my figures being made in Shanghai, and there's 2 different ports that
Now
I'm
you got
shipping out of in
to do
China,
it. Yeah.
and so
Okay.
I'm not combining that into a container.
Right.
And if I am, I'm paying for inland freight charges to get it from Ningbo
To get it,
down
yeah.
to Shanghai, right? So there's, again, it all has costs involved to it.
So
And
Madhouse brought up a good point. He said freight forwarders will sometimes do better.
Do better rates. Yeah.
correct, and that's why
Yeah.
smaller people like BBTS works with a freight forwarder instead of negotiating
Right.
directly with freight lines. Now, during COVID, there was a huge amount of shortage because there was a ton of demand. And there wasn't enough space on ships, so you had up to, like, I don't know, 45 ocean freight ships off the coast of, like, Los Angeles at the peak
waiting
of
to get docked.
COVID, just trying to dock, but
Yeah.
couldn't get enough room to dock.
Couldn't
right?
get in.
And so not only did shipping times increase quite substantially, but the costs. So normally speaking, I would, prior to COVID, be paying between $3,500 and $4,500 per 40-foot container to come over from China to the U.S. During COVID, that got to be as expensive, even for us, and we were what I would consider a larger importer. Even for us, got up to in the neighborhood of $16,000 to $20,000 per container. So 4 to 5 times the cost to ship the same container over. It's calmed down quite a bit, but it's still higher today than it was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Golly,
Wow.
bro.
So here's another factor we can throw in too. Not that it necessarily matters to U.S. retailers, but I'll throw my Canadian hat in there, and just because Madhouse is sitting in the chat as well, right? But if we add another column to this and say any non-U.S. retailer, right? Anytime that anybody is buying anything from these manufacturers, they are dealing in U.S. dollars, right? So then, if
You got the exchange rate.
rate changes, and to Scott's point, right? So one of the non-US retailers will say, yeah, I'm going to buy a case of figures from MMC, right? And then MMC says, great, it's going to cost this much, and then they put it on their line of credit, right? Their credit line, whatever it is, right? And then in the amount of time that it takes for that stuff to ship over, right?
Mhm.
So that
the
company
rate
is
can
sitting
change.
with their money, and then the rate changes, and now their margin goes down, right? If the dollar got worse
That's right.
in their country compared to the US dollar, then their rates, their margin goes down even further,
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
And
100%.
I've watched Eric on the Madhouse website, right, put something up for pre-order at, let's say, $150, and watch him have to take it down and put it back up for 175 because the Canadian to US dollar changed that much, right?
And I would say that the vast majority of retailers don't engage in that because and this is, it kind of speaks to the American consumer, but the majority of American consumers don't understand that.
No,
And
because you guys deal everything in US dollars, right? It's like the international currency or dealing with stuff between countries, right? So everything is done with US dollars, so you don't see it, right? But the non-US retailers, they feel that hit all the time. Every time that a currency rate changes, man, it's like stabbing them in the heart. Just
it certainly
right into
can
their
benefit
margins.
them as much as it can.
It
go
can.
against their favor,
can.
but
Yeah.
but the reality is that when it goes against their favor, they're not changing their price.
Yep.
Whatever you pre-ordered in at 3-4 months ago.
No, because if you want to piss off your customer base, just keep changing the prices on them every
100%.
month, right? And
Don't
those
do
people
it.
will walk,
Mhm.
right? So
And the China-based retailer never has to worry about that because
Exactly.
they're always getting your money at the time that they're sending you the product.
at the time that they go, here's our stuff, right? The money's being sent, boom, whatever the exchange rate is, that's money in the bank for them, and then they never have to worry about. Doesn't matter what happens tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
And that's why when like say for example, your show Z's, when they put their pre-orders up, they'll have you put $1 down because they need to know how many they're actually going to be selling, and then get extras. When they do ask you for that money, yeah, to your point, they're ready to ship that product out to you. So there's no give me your money now, and then a whole year, 2-3 years later, shout out to Berserk. You're asking, why the price is going up after you already paid for it, and then you got to deal with all the bureaucracy of everything that we were just talking about. So so there you go.
U.S. retailers are really caught, and I don't have any I don't have any partiality. Obviously, I spend a lot of time buying from direct from Chinese sources in my main life's job, but they really have an uphill battle against them because of the smaller world that we live in today. Because they have to follow the rules, and that's another thing that there are certain countries in this world where not following the rules or going underneath the table is very much a common cultural thing. Whereas here in the U.S.,
you get slapped on the pee-pee.
Yeah.
Now, did you say too that in the U.S. that there's a certain dollar amount before the duties kick in?
Yeah, so basically the U.S. realizes how many microtransactions are out there, and so they effectively, and again, this could have changed because all this stuff changes constantly, but it would more than likely go up rather than down. The last time I looked at it was in early 2024. It was at $800. Was basically if you had value less than $800, you did not have to declare with customs.
I have no idea what the law is in Canada. I'm assuming that everything that comes across the border in Canada is there's duties applied regardless of the amount. Maybe Eric in the chat can confirm, but I don't think we follow that same rule. So that's interesting too.
No,
there's
so when you buy from Show Z, is there VAT included in that?
But no, whatever the price is on the website is what I end up paying, right? So there's some agreement between, but I'm wondering, okay, fair enough. So do the Canadian or other countries, do they have those agreements? Because I'm pretty sure Canada has some agreement, right, with China that goods coming in from China may or may not have duties applied to them, right? So
Canada does apply duties in China. The only reason I know this is because I was an exporter, and I exported from China to Canada. But you make a good point, which is important for people to understand is that there are certain countries that have agreements with countries on not duty. For example, I was when I was an exporter, I was exporting a good fair amount of those products from Nepal as well. Now, Canada did have an agreement with Nepal based upon Nepal's special circumstances, and it was a country that was struggling. Canada did not charge duty for clothing into Nepal. For clothing that was made in Nepal that was coming coming
into Canada.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, so I could take this fleece, and we're all familiar with like an outdoor fleece, right? I could take this fleece, and while I would ship it into the U.S., I would pay a 32% duty on top of that fleece. But when I shipped that fleece that I made in Nepal to Canada, no duty.
Zero.
Same thing to England, by the way. They also have duty free from Nepal.
Interesting.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah. So so again, to that point, right, is that there's all these factors, right, that fall into why we see things so cheap right over in the Chinese-based retailers versus anywhere else, right? That there's all these rules and underlying that we're probably not aware of, right? And the conversations around conspiracies, right, around, oh, well, this company's in bed with that manufacturer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? It really kind of, all this stuff kind of shows, right? It goes out the window. It's just the cost of doing business with stuff overseas.
Yeah. I'm interested in Esteban's question about the Funko being bought when they bought Mondo with the shipping changes, because as a matter of fact, he's speaking fact to that, because I've ordered straight from Mondo, and when I get their stuff, it's DHL delivering it to me versus handing it off to a UPS or a USPS and then having them ship it to me.
And then having them ship it, yeah.
It was the same with Amazon Japan. That's how they skirted as well. They get you DHL. It's one package. They probably shipping on a big Airbus with just piece by piece by piece by piece, and then they get it to your home.
Yeah. DHL is lickety split. It is the best international fast 100%. Carrier.
3 days.
Yeah.
3 days from Japan.
No doubt. No doubt.
We would ship all of our samples to our various retailers via DHL.
Smart.
Yeah.
It's cheap.
Yep. And it's still air freight, right? So you're still paying air freight rates, but it's just fast and they're a great service. Somebody asked it, or somebody made a comment in here around all hitting at once, Brian Brink, and it is likely, right? It is likely that in order to save the best, and not pay, if I ship my products in with other people's stuff, it is more expensive than if I use that bonded warehouse to hold all of my stuff until I fill a full 40-foot container.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
interesting.
Yeah. And so, it's probably likely that they're doing the same thing. They're getting stuff sent from different portions of China into a bonded warehouse, loading it all onto the same container, and then receiving that container into their warehouse facility.
Yeah. There's even I've even done just because I've shipped stuff to people in the US, right? I mean, I'm not even worried about Canada, right? But I've actually I actually did some math, like on the Canada Post website at one point, where I was like, how much stuff can I shove into a box that's this big? And how much does it cost? And then I basically went like, how big of a box can I get to before the price changes, right? Yeah. And I basically like doubled the size of the box before Canada Post finally went, okay, well now it's going to cost you $20 more, $30 more, right? Yeah. So bring to your point, right? Some of the thing is that BBTS, like if you're ordering a bunch of stuff from BBTS, they may actually be like holding the stuff back, right, in their warehouse until they go, okay, his box is full now, we'll ship it, because it'll save them money, right?
Well, that's what they do on their pile of loot. So it allows you to
right? There's some
70 different things for $4.
Right. And that's exactly what it is, right? They're just, again, trying to whatever they can do to save money, to increase their margins, to make a better profit, knowing that they had to compete with these guys overseas, right? So
I know he probably didn't intend it, but this actually brings up another alternative in business. This Marcellus Proctor. His comment is, this is very informative about the overseas shipping and factoring it in the overall cost. So the term factoring, it's funny. A lot of smaller retailers, a lot of smaller businesses don't have the cash flow to be able to pay their bills and hold that until they get payment from their customers. And so they will use what is called, and it's just another tool, but it's also added costs. They will use what's called a factoring agency. And what that factoring agency does is it takes and extends their customers, or my customer. Let's say I'm the retailer. It extends my customers the ability to pay not now, but gives gives me the money up front. And they shave 2% or whatever they have. It's obviously negotiated rate, but it averages about 2% of the receivable. They will hold back as their fee for doing this.
But that's still cheaper than probably the 5% you're paying on interest on some line of credit or whatever else.
So it's essentially an equity account that they use.
They're paying me. They're giving me the money up front, and when my customers pay, they actually pay the factoring agency.
So it's like escrow.
It's
like
it's the same thing as if you walked into one of those cash check places where they give you your money before your paycheck comes in. It's the same concept for a business. And there are a lot of businesses that factor their receivables in order to get their money faster.
Wow. Okay.
There's one last thing
another
I wanted
2% as an expense for them that they have to add in there.
For sure. So there's one other caveat that I wanted to throw in here before we close out. Where do you see this affecting our local or stateside e-tailers? How do they sustain business like this?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I don't know that I have that answer because our world is continually growing smaller. And with China's weakening ability to manufacture goods at the cheapest price, like that manufacturing is moving to other countries, they're going to be looking for other ways to make buying from them more profitable and more and so it'll be an interesting landscape for sure. I don't have the answer. All I can say is that U.S. retailers will continue to struggle in this environment for sure.
Yeah.
Now, if but the reality is that if the funny thing is if the tariffs come into play, they will only hurt in this scenario. They will only hurt BBTS and U.S. retailers. They will not at all hurt China-based retailers.
No, they won't. They won't.
Because
they're going to make us
on
duties.
Because I'm still sharing my screen here, right? So this import this duty rate right here, right? And this is not political at all. This is just like what has been said of the incoming president, right? Which is that he's going to increase duties by 20%. Well, okay. So I mean, the math is pretty easy there, folks. There's your 20% duty on top of ocean freight.
So it went from $3 to $13.
Same here.
Yeah.
Right. So Shozi or a Bombas Bee or whatever, Gundam it, none of them are paying that fee. So it's only the U.S. retailers that are hurt in this scenario.
Yeah, and I mean, there's nowhere else to get them too, right? It's not like anybody in the U.S. is making these figures, right? These figures are being made and they're being designed and manufactured by Chinese companies, right, or companies in Asia, right? So we have nowhere else to get them unless Hasbro steps up and stops giving us Jinrai crap Whatever. So,
Yeah, that's a story for another day.
Back masterpiece. What
Mhm.
are we doing anyway?
I think
Yeah.
we answered our question from 19 months ago. Is MP dead? And
Yeah,
according to Takara, it is
it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Mhm.
for sure.
Dante, I don't think that that this had any part to play what we're talking about today in Hasbro shutting down their Asia market.
No, if
Um,
anything,
Oh,
it would have
yeah.
been more lucrative for them to keep it up.
I would also like to point out to Trey that Canada is not overseas, so I'm not sure where your question was going there, but
Well, technically, I do have to cross the bridge to get to you guys.
there's a lake.
There's a river that divides us from
There's
you
a river and
guys.
a lake and a sure,
And the
yeah,
lake.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious, Trey, what you meant by that question, right? I'm not sure what
I was gonna ask.
Yeah,
that,
like
because-
I mean, the only thing the guys are going to run into is again the exchange rate, and then potentially coming back across the border when you get to the border
I think that's
agency,
what he's
right?
getting
right.
to.
That's the.
And that's probably what
I
you're
think
asking.
that's what he's asking.
So I will tell you from my personal experience of going into the U.S. a lot, right, and buying stuff. Like when I went to NJCC, right, and I actually here's a fun story for you. So when I went to NJCC, I actually brought a bunch of stuff with me that I wanted to sell at NJCC. And when I got to the border, the U.S. border agent, of course, asked me, "Do I have anything to declare?" And I said no. I said, no, I don't. I didn't buy anything, right, that I'm bringing into the U.S., right? And I didn't want to get into the whole mess of saying, hey, I got a bunch of stuff I'm going to sell, right? But I will tell you that when I bought a few things at NJCC and I came back, the Canadian border agent coming back asked the same question. And I said, yeah, I picked up a few figures. And he was like, what's the total retail cost? I said, it's about $200 US. And he was like, right? Because they're not after the little guys like us, right? They're after, the big trucks and stuff, right? That's, could be a huge impact, right?
Okay.
But I will tell you that there has been a few times where, myself and Heather have gone down to Ogdensburg, which is only a couple hours away from us because there's a Walmart there and there's like snacks and candies and stuff that we can't get, here in Ottawa. And so when we cross the border, we will say, yeah, we spent $200 on groceries. And sure enough, the agent's going, you got to go and you got to pay the taxes on it. So it's hit and miss, right? Sometimes it's,
produce is different. Anytime you're dealing with food and produce, that's a whole different administration. That's why even here is food. What is it? ATF. Like that's all the same thing. It's a totally different game.
Yeah. So you guys could hit the same way. If you come up to TFCon and buy a bunch of stuff, you get to the border and they ask you what you've got to declare. Typically, you're supposed to declare anything you did buy, right? And then the agent may tell you, well, you got to go in and pay the taxes. And to, Scott's point, and again, we're not trying to be political here, right? Just this is what Trump has been saying, right? But if Trump is saying that he's going to throw a bunch of tariffs on stuff, then when you guys go across the border, you could pay 25% on action figures that you picked up at TFCon. Who knows?
Yeah.
Right.
And the crazy part about it too, right? The more infuriating part about it is that the stuff you bought at TFCon is probably used. It's probably open figures, right? They may or may not be brand new, right? Which means somebody already paid taxes on this thing. Yeah. And now you have to pay taxes again, right? So this is the infuriating part about taxes, right? Is this type of bullshit. So you could run into it.
Yeah. Somebody asked the question about a distributor, so I just added a couple of columns here because the reality is the distributor only adds a middleman, right? And they got to make their markup too. Typical distributors make between 5% and 10% a markup.
Sorry, and that was and that was another comment I was going to make too. Some of the comments I've heard from some of the retailers that I deal with is this idea that the manufacturing company doesn't even necessarily have, especially when it comes to our action figures, they don't even necessarily have an MSRP. So then we get into that negotiating factor of this retailer has negotiated a price with this company, and then the American, Canadian, European retailers, they didn't get the opportunity to do that. And then they have to factor in their costs, taxes, shipping, warehouse, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then they post their price on their website. Meanwhile, the retailer that's selling it is actually selling it at a lower price because they don't have any of those costs to factor in. So some of the arguments have come from some of the retailers about could we all not just agree on a price together from the manufacturer before we get these things?
In the U.S., that's a illegal practice.
Correct.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that the manufacturer would sell for lower than what the retailers are selling for?
Different retail entities colluding together on the market
Right,
market price of the product.
Right. So there is that to factor in as well, right? Is that these companies may sell for cheaper. The manufacturing company may sell for cheaper on their own website than the rest of the retailers are even able to match because of all these additional costs that they have to put in, which is a shitty maneuver, right, by the manufacturer, because then why would the retailer resell your product, right?
Yes, it is an absolute thing. For example, in the outdoor business, right? We sold the North Face. Well, as soon as the North Face started selling it on their own website, right, they would oftentimes sell at the MSRP, which was what we would sell it for. But the amount of sales that they would run, and the fact is that because there's no middleman when they're selling directly to the consumer, they can run sales more often and still make the same amount of money, but sell it at much less of a cost to the consumer. So there is very much that issue.
Yeah. And I think with that, guys, it's a good place to go ahead and wrap up. It was a pretty good conversation. I'm pretty sure we'll be watching this over the next few months, even up to this year, to see how things shake up. And go from there. But I think it was a really good conversation and also a good chat.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, Jedi, Magic Square is direct to consumer from their website as well. With faster shipping than anybody else I've ever seen too.
As is YOLO Park, right? Like I said earlier, that's what Eric at Madhouse and I recently discovered. We were like, oh shit, they're selling it direct off their website for $10 cheaper than everybody else, right? So
how do you keep up?
How do you keep up with them, right? Anyway.
100%. All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and go around StreamYard, get some shout outs from where you at. I am butt tired, so it's time for me to go to bed, and we'll go ahead and get up out of here. Rusty, let's start with you. Oh, that's right. Clipboard.
Don't forget the clipboard. So shout out to the chat squad this evening. Again, excellent question, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We had first in the door, as always, Toy Mafia. Thank you very much. Brink in there with his comedy. Eric from Madhouse, thanks for coming in and throwing in your comments, buddy. We appreciate you. Jay Jeter, Dante, a.k.a. Esteban, Willie Whammo, Jeremy B. Showed up. Jedi Mindset, Just G Squared, Marcellus Proctor, and Trey Fi, all in the chat squad. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us tonight. It was a pretty awesome topic. Great conversation, nice interaction. Love to see it.
Trey wants to know where Scott's cat is at. Is he around? Is he alive?
He might be dead.
He alive?
Yeah, the cat's around here. Actually, I didn't mention that in my what happened over the last couple of weeks, but we got a new kitty. So
got a new kitty cat.
Yeah, he was in here earlier trying to take out my setup. So
that's what's
you
up.
will spend time with me tonight. Yes.
He started trying to climb, or she has started to try to climb the legs with their claws.
Of course.
That's not good.
Oh, okay.
Never fun.
Sorry, human legs or furniture legs?
Human legs, bro.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay.
All right, Rusty. Well, go ahead and tell the people where they can find you.
You want to start with me? All right. So I am the Rusty Mechanic, and you can find me on all your social media platforms, as well as here every second Tuesday with these fine gentlemen on this Do You Even Transform podcast. You can find me out there on the Rusty Mechanic on Facebook and Instagram, and most importantly, YouTube. But Twitter, and I've also got so for these guys, if you guys don't know, actually, I've started a Rusty Mechanic Games streaming channel on Twitch where I have been doing our Call of Duty stuff. Myself and the wife, she goes by Boom Boom Betty, and we've been streaming our games on there and having a blast with that. So you can come check us out on Twitch as the Rusty Mechanic. And I've also got the Rusty Mechanic Drives, which I'll be firing up in the summer on YouTube as well. But don't forget, please, on my Rusty Mechanic Transforms YouTube channel, I do have that raffle going on for those Magic Square figures, Heavy Gunner Ammunitioner, the Combaticons, which I'm going to be giving away at the end of the month. Shout out to Scott while we were live here. He closed us out. We are at 100 entries. We will be doing the raffle at the end of this month. So thank you very much, Scott. You are awesome.
All right.
If you want to get in on it, there's still lots of space. Again, if we hit 200 entries, I'll give both figures away to a winner. So go and check out my YouTube channel. I've got a video up there. Go check out my Facebook page. It's got all the details on how you can get in on the entry, and we'll help out Eric and Derek and the guys at Kennedy's Village to bridge the gap between
Sickle cell
research and care. I'll get it.
There you
I'll
go.
get it. I know you're going to
You'll
do
get
it too. Anyway,
You'll
that's
get it.
I'm good.
All right, cool. Scotty.
You know, I had to weigh whether or not I almost reached out to Derek and asked if he threw his hat in the ring for that raffle, because it's like, don't get in a raffle where Derek is involved. It's just not worthwhile. I just sent that as a donation because I don't expect to win anything where Eric's involved. So every 2 weeks I'm here with these fine gentlemen. And you can find me at Scott Marble on Facebook and XBaneReeseX on Instagram. I have a TikTok. I couldn't tell you what it is. Plus, also, who cares after January 20th, right?
Is that happening? Is that actually happening for you guys? Are you getting cut off?
Yeah, TikTok is being
very
banned.
serious about it, bro.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but that's the topic for another day as well. All right, Derek.
Not for this channel, but anyway.
Right. For sure. Derek, what about you, man?
I am currently trying to find that YouTube channel.
What do you mean trying to find
you're
it?
in.
You're not already subscribed?
He's trying to add. He's trying to get
You're
in.
banned.
Look at
You're
this
banned.
guy.
I will instantly refund you. I'm telling you right now. You are not winning.
Look at this guy.
No, I'm already. No, I was trying to find I was trying to find a raffle so I can get in, and increase
we gotta
Scott's
get the pot.
chances of winning,
Gotta get
because
the
I'm a
pot
good
going,
luck
man.
charm when I'm not
Jesus.
trying to win. So
There
yeah.
you
How about
go.
that
That's a way to look
spin?
at it. That's a way to look at it. And then I come down to his crib and he's like, "Look, Eli, I got these off this raffle." Oh man!
I'm telling y'all, half this is off of
Yeah, I
raffles.
know.
I swear.
I'm thinking about it,
Y'all
too.
sleeping on raffles. I'm telling you, get in where you fit in. But anyway, you can find me, your boy Derek B, on your Book of Faces. You can also find me on Instagram as Derek What B. You can find me here every other Tuesday with these gentlemen for Do You Even Transform, Bro? You can also find me on Monday nights, the best part of your Monday, and my Monday for sure, on ETR, Enter the Realm, every week. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, man. So for me, that leaves me, your boy Eric B. Your Facebook groups, Eric Burgess, Instagram, Mr_E.Beatty2. Check out some of the great things my wife and our board are doing for Kennedy's Village. We're putting in work to bridge that gap between sickle cell research and care. Check us out on Instagram and all your social media platforms at Kennedy's Village or kennedysvillage.org. Guys, a time was had tonight. We had a good time discussing this. I like when we get analytical. It allows our brains to think. So that's cool. But I'm tired. I had enough thinking for tonight. I'm done. Derek, you got something to take us out on?
I got you, bro. I got you. Happy New Year. May your wallet be as full as your online shopping cart.
That's a fact. Let's go. Peace.
Yeah.
Say it with me now. Round